Well, the next big project in our overall course activities list for the ultimate goal of being able to interview candidates for a job is giving your candidates an idea of when you're willing to talk to them. Since you're online and they're online, all of our interviews for this class are going to be done by video conference. In a separate video, I'm going to give you some instructions on how to access the video, how to share with your interviewees the link for them to access the video. But for them to decide what job they want to interview for, they need to know a couple of things. First of all, they need to know what jobs are available. Secondly, they need to know what each of those jobs entails and what expectations you have that they will be able to bring to the job. That's done through the job description, which we'll work on next. And then third, they need to know when you're willing to interview. For this particular project in summer semester of 2018, each of you will be expected to interview 4 people from the business communications class. So what you've got to be able to do now is figure out what days and what times you're willing to do a video interview. You should plan on an hour for each interview. And I'm hoping that as you develop good questions and you think through the process and the flow of the interview, that you're going to be able to get 40 or 45 minutes. And then maybe if you wanted to do back-to-back interviews on one particular day, you'd have about 15 minutes maybe of downtime before the next person logged on to do the interview. So what I need you to do at this point is to start thinking about what days you're willing to do interviews. Now, as we get closer, there may be the opportunity or the need for you to interact with your interviewee candidate and say, you know what, you're scheduled for this, but I've had a change in my plans. Could you do it on that day at that time? Or they may say, I've got a conflict. Would you be willing to? And I'm going to encourage them and you both to be flexible. Now, you set the stage on when available appointments will be. And they're really kind of at your mercy. If they don't like your days and times, they've got to go look for another job to find a day and time that they like. But I want you to work with them a little bit. So for this particular activity, I want you to look at your calendars for Saturday, July the 7th through Wednesday, July the 11th. And I want you to pick out 4 blocks of 1 hour when you're willing to do a video conference interview. Now, keep in mind that a lot of these folks are older students who work. So having weekend appointments, having evening appointments will help some of them. Some of these students are your traditional college students who are available during the day. So I'll encourage you to get a variety of days and times. I would really suggest that you don't do like Saturday at 10, 11, 12, and 1 and have them all done the same day. You need to be able to do an interview and then have some downtime where you think about that interview and decide what you might want to change for the next one. So maybe you do 2 on one day, or maybe you do 1 on each of 4 different days. But again, I'm going to encourage you to do 1 or 2 in the evening, 1 on Saturday or Sunday, 1 during the day, so that they've got some variation as to when you're willing to work with them. Once you've given me 4 days and times, I'll go out and I'll create a doodle poll that I will then share with the business communication students, and they can go out there and plug their name in and reserve a spot. That doesn't, again, happen until you've determined when those spots are. So over the next couple of days here, look at your calendar, and I want you to be able to email me a list of 4 days and times that you'd be willing to start a video conference interview. So maybe your list says Saturday the 7th at 11 a.m., Monday the 9th at 6 p.m., Tuesday the 10th at 3 p.m., and Tuesday the 10th at 8 p.m., whatever. 4 days, 4 times. I think logistically right now, there will be a couple of teams that only get 3 interviews simply because either there aren't enough business communication students or there aren't business communication students that are willing to do an extra interview so that you get all the practice you need. But some of you might do 3. Almost all of you will do 4. In the next couple of days after you've watched this video, send me an email either through my Radar account, mark.grimes@gsw.edu, or through GoView, through the email system, just telling me what 4 days and what 4 times. And I will reply to you and say, those look good, or I might say, consider that, or this instead, and then I'll set up the doodle poll for you. All right? If you have questions, give me a call or send me an email, and make sure that you understand what I'm looking for. I don't need 5. I certainly don't want 3. I want 4. As specifically as you can make it with some variety. Again, email me, call me if it doesn't make sense. Let's do this right.